Howdy, Dallas here from Keg It. In today's video, we'll show you what's included with your keg kit, how to set it up, and the differences between the basic and the premium keg kits. We've been very particular in the components we've selected so that everything goes together quickly and easily, and you'll be surprised at how soon from opening your box you'll be able to pour your first drink. When your kit arrives, it'll come in a box that looks like this. Let's open it up to see what's inside. In the basic kit, you'll find an ultimate robust mini gas regulator, one liquid flow control quick disconnect, one quick disconnect gas push-in fitting, 3 feet of EVA double wall gas and beverage tubing, one picnic tap, and 2 push-in reducers, which will adapt your tubing to your stems. In the premium kit, you'll find one ultimate robust mini gas regulator, one NukaTap FC stainless steel flow control tap, one quick disconnect gas push-in fitting, one tap shank liquid disconnect, one handle of your choice, one push-in reducer, which will adapt your tubing to your stems, 1 foot of EVA double wall gas and beverage tubing, and then 2 secure fit circlips for push fit systems. To use the regulator as intended, a couple quick modifications are required. The regulator comes standard with an analog gauge, an FFL fitting, and a bushing on the bottom. We are going to swap out the FFL fitting with this 1/4 inch stem, allowing for an easy push fit solution. Installing the stem is straightforward. Grab a flathead screwdriver and loosen the existing nub screw that's currently holding the FFL fitting in place. Once it's loose, remove the FFL fitting and install the 1/4 inch stem. Tighten the nub screw to hold it in place. The stem is now airtight but free to swivel. Next, we'll remove the included bushing, enabling us to install our threaded SodaStream style cylinder directly onto the regulator. Take your threaded SodaStream cylinder and screw on the regulator. Insert your 1/4 inch stem into the small end of the reducer. Next, take your tubing, insert it into the larger side of the reducer, ensuring to push in and then pull out so that it locks in place. Insert the other end of the tube into the gas ball lock disconnect. Again, pushing all the way in and then pulling out so that it locks in place. To assemble the picnic tap included in the basic kit, insert the 1/4 inch stem of the picnic tap into the small end of your push-in reducer. Take the tubing and insert it in the large end, pushing in firmly and then pulling out to lock in place. Take the other end of the tube and insert it into the flow control ball lock disconnect. To assemble the stainless steel flow control tap included in the premium kit, first remove the tap from the box. You'll notice there's a flow control lever as well as a black polymer shuttle in the back of the tap. Ensure the shuttle's in place before attaching to your tap shank liquid disconnect. Hand tighten the tap shank onto the NukaTap, ensuring the NukaTap is in the proper orientation prior to tightening further with a tap wrench, such as our all-in-one tap maintenance tool. Finally, screw on the threaded tap handle onto your NukaTap. Now with the components all assembled, let's hook it all up and pour that beer. So I already have a keg of brew inside this keg bag. To basically fill a keg, you can either go to any brewery that fills growlers. They'll fill the keg just as if they would a growler. Just make sure to explain to them that it's 2.5 gallons, although it's becoming much more popular to fill this size vessel. The other option is if you're a home brewer, you can fill it just as if you would a normal 5-gallon keg, but they're just a handier size to transport around. So first off, prior to connecting your CO2, you just want to make sure that your gauge is open to the bottle So the top thumb screw, screw it in tight. You'll hear a pop as the CO2 comes into the regulator. And then adjust your pressure using your black knob on the back. There is a symbol plus and minus in case you forget, but clockwise is more, counterclockwise is less. Now, if you're pouring beer, I highly recommend getting a digital gauge because it allows you just to have that precision when you're trying to dial in lower pressures, which are really helpful in this sort of scenario, so you're not constantly pouring heady beer. Now, I've installed a digital gauge on this model. Press the red button to turn it on. I'm showing 4 psi at the moment, which is just about perfect. The other thing you want to do is purge your line. So I use an IKEA chip clip. Take the end of your ball lock disconnect. There's a pin in there. You just press it down. You'll hear CO2 coming out. That's all the oxygen pushed out. And then you're good to go. So we'll slide this in the straps, setting it in the mesh pocket in the back. For the premium kit, it's always good to have your CO2 coming in through the slot at the top. So press it in, and away you go. For the tap, again, ball lock disconnect, pull up on the collar, push down until it locks. Make sure that the handle is pulled back, otherwise you'll have beer going everywhere. It'll clip into place, and then you're good to go. So we'll just zip this up to make it nice and tidy. All right, so this is your flow control lever. This allows you to control the speed that your beer is coming out of your tap. If it's pulled all the way back, it's pretty much off. If you pull it all the way forward, then you're coming out full speed. You want to have it set right so that you're not waiting hours for your beer, but you're also not pouring it so fast that all you're getting is a glass full of foam. Highly recommend starting with the back and then opening up your tap as you're pouring it, easing it forward. So we'll demonstrate that now. Have a glass here, pour it underneath, have it all the way back, and you'll see how no beer comes out. Okay, just like that. But as we move the flow control tap forward, you'll see the beer start to come out. And then you can speed it up until you're happy with the pace. There you go. So, just like that, you'll be pouring before you know it and enjoying beers or anything else you can imagine out of a tap, at home or on the go, anywhere you want it, really. Cheers. Now that everything's assembled, we get to pour our first drink. Now, you will need a keg, which you can purchase separately, and a keg bag definitely helps keep things cool if you want to take this to parties and on the go. So we'll take our regulator, we'll turn the thumb screw in until you hear a pop, and that's to press the pin on the CO2 bottle. Now you'll look on the pressure gauge and turn the black knob clockwise until you see the pressure come up to 5 psi for serving. If you're wanting to carbonate a beverage, you'll want to have it higher, probably 15 psi, but for serving, keep it 5 psi or lower. This is where if you're serving beer, having a digital gauge so you can really dial it in and make sure that you're not going over that point is really handy. Make sure that you purge. There's a little pin on the bottom. What you can do is either use your little finger or you can take a chip clip and just depress that pin, and that'll push all the oxygen out. So we're going to slide this in the straps and into the mesh pocket in the back of the bag. And then inside this bag, I have a pre-prepared Keg-It mini keg of Texas Summertime Margaritas, which is quite tasty. If you want the recipe, it's on our website. So we're going to go ahead and connect that up and give it a pour. So CO2, the way you connect the ball locks up, pull back on the collar and then push down and you'll feel it lock into place, and then release and pull up and you'll notice it's not going anywhere. So that means it's connected correctly. For the basic kit, we recommend going in through the side for your CO2, and then your liquid goes through the center slot. We'll zip this up. For the liquid side, do the same thing. Pull that collar back, push it in on the liquid or out side of the mini keg, push down, and then it'll snap in place, and then we're good to go. Now, when not in use, you can tuck the tubing inside the top of the bag, like so, and zip up. But for now, let's pull it out and we'll give it a pour. At the end of the party, it's just as easy to take it apart, push down, pull up on the collar. The liquid will stay inside. Same thing with the gas. Push down on the top, pull up on the collar, it pops right off, and you're good to go until the next time you want to have a drink. For the picnic tap setup in the basic kit, the way you control the flow is through the yellow knob on the top. So right now I have it dialed all the way in and nothing should come out. So I'm pressing it, nothing's going. As we unscrew that knob, oh, that'll start to trickle out. Just so you can see, now it's a very slow flow. If we want to speed it up, unscrew it even more. See that speed? So then even more. And that's pretty darn good for margarita. So pretty simple. Picnic tap, either up or down. Just set it on top, tuck it inside if it's going to be unused for a while to keep everything cold. But otherwise, enjoy your drinks on tap. Cheers.